the Pimp Your Brilliance podcast with Monique Malcolm, a show about creative people leveraging their brilliance to create their own opportunities. I aim to show you what's really possible when you shut down the chorus of fear and lean into your genius zone. You can learn more about this show and subscribe for updates by visiting keepchasingthestars.com/podcast. Hey Star Chasers, this episode of Pimp Your Brilliance is brought to you by the Visionary Journal. The Visionary Journal is a goal-setting guide, mini vision board, and day planner. It provides a simple structure to help you break your goals into actionable steps that you can integrate into your daily life. For more information and to order your own copy of the Visionary Journal, visit keepchasingthestars.com/Visionary Journal. This is episode 22. For more information and for show notes, you can find them at keepchasingthestars.com/22. Hey guys, cue the confetti because today we're celebrating. 1 year ago, I launched the Pimp Your Brilliance podcast. So on May 10th, 2017, that was the day of my very first episode going live. So it's officially my pod-versary. And I'm so excited. I can't believe it's been a year already. Everybody that I've told so far has been amazed that a whole year has gone by. But it has, and here we are. I feel very happy and accomplished because many podcasts fail before the 1 year mark. The workload gets to them or the enthusiasm fades. It doesn't turn out the way that they want, and so they quit. And if we're being real, it's not just podcasting. A lot of blogs don't make it 1 year. Many ideas don't last a year, and very few businesses make it past the 1 year mark. So this feels really good. I'm really happy about it. I'm really excited. And I want to share 5 lessons that I've learned from my guests this year. And I want to talk about my plans for Pimp Your Brilliance heading into another year. Because if you're not growing, why are we even doing this? But first, here's a look at my year 1 of podcasting by the numbers. So over the last year, I have done 41 episodes. That breaks down into 21 guests, 19 minisodes, and 1 book club. So that's a lot of content. If you're new to the podcast, you have plenty of catching up to do. That's over 12,000 downloads, a 2-month hiatus, and 1 show host that's excited to grow even further. And I am. That's the most exciting thing about all of this. Having a year of podcasting under my belt makes me feel really excited for the future, what the show can hold, and how we can grow together even further. But the point of today's show is to share my top 5 lessons I've learned from my guest. And so here's the first one. Just start. This piece of advice was given over and over again by my guest, almost on every show, and for good reason. You don't know how great you're going to be without first putting yourself out there. There's a lot of barriers that stop us from starting our ideas, from fear to lack of resources, not knowing how. There's just no shortage of roadblocks. So the idea of just getting started, putting it out there, seeing how it's going to be, that lesson resonates with me because it took me 2 years to start this podcast. That's 2 years of failure. That's 2 years of experience. That's 2 years of learning that I missed out on because I waited so long to get started with the podcast. This piece of advice is advice that I give all the time, but it's also advice that I have to take myself. Just get started. My second lesson is find your tribe. This is another widely shared piece of advice. And your tribe, it can be your peers, it can be your community, but find the people that are going to benefit from what you have to offer and then get in a space and serve. Help those people grow. Lean on those people to help you grow. It's really important that you find people that you connect with, that motivate you, that force you to grow, that push you to be better. And it can be people who are your peers. So you can put together a mastermind group. You can get your own collective of podcasters or, wannabe podcasters and start working together, sharing and helping each other grow along the way. The thing about community is if you don't have a community, it's really hard to grow a business. It's really hard to grow a podcast. It's hard to do anything without people. So as soon as possible, whatever your idea is, find your tribe, find those people who are going to help you make that thing even more amazing than it already is. Lesson number 3 is you don't have to have it all figured out. And I think if you listen to any of my shows and you listen to the challenges that my guests have shared, you've listened to the things that help them grow, you realize that they're still testing things. They're still learning as people and creatives. They don't have all the answers. They don't know how this is exactly going to work out, but they just keep doing it. They figure it out as they go along. They try to get better. They make incremental changes and they just see what's going to happen. And so I want you to take that advice kind of to heart, that you don't have to have it all figured out. And that goes hand in hand with the idea of just starting. You can just take the next step. You don't have to know 7 steps down the line. It's enough just to take step 1 today and figure out step 2 tomorrow. Lesson number 4, invest in yourself. Whether it's a course, it's coaching, it's attending industry events, you can't be afraid to put money into bettering yourself. You are your company's most valuable asset. So you owe it to yourself to grow as much possible. If you want to be an amazing business owner, if you want to be that awesome girl boss, you have to make investments in bettering yourself, becoming a better person, becoming a better creative, learning as much as possible, because that's going to make the difference between an idea, a business that lasts a long time, and something that doesn't last and is just a flash in the pan. So don't be afraid to put your money where your mouth is and make investments that are going to help you be the best version of yourself. My 5th lesson is following your passion is not dead. And this wasn't like an exact lesson that anybody said, but it was a realization that I got as I spoke with more and more people, just looking at how they took something they were passionate about and turned it into a business. And I feel like for a while, that was like the rallying call of online creatives. Follow your passion, follow your passion. And then that advice took like a complete 360 and people start saying like, don't follow your passion. That advice is stupid. That's not solid advice. But when I look at people like Maureen Vasquez, she is the head, what does she call herself? The head honcho of Pipsticks, which is a sticker subscription club, or Anthony Bencomo, who is the owner of Deli Fresh Threads, which is a t-shirt line that's dedicated to the sandwich, and it celebrates what he calls the king of meals, the sandwich, or Twinkie Chan, who crochets food scarves and other random food items. It's like, how can you think that the idea of following passion is dead when these people have created opportunities from nothing, from things that they were excited about, from things that they wanted other people to know and experience? It's like, passion's totally not dead. And I think that you can still build a passion-based business. It's totally possible. Every single guest that I have interviewed has done that. And so it's really exciting for me to realize that passion still works. Following your passion still works. Building something you're passionate still works. You can still engage a community and it can be an amazing opportunity. So follow your passion, people. Don't listen to the crazy advice of the internet saying that it's dead. It's not. If you're willing to work, if you have a solid idea and you're willing to do what you need to do to make it happen, it can happen for you. So those are my 5 lessons that I've learned from my guests this year. Just start. Find your tribe. You don't have to have it all figured out. Invest in yourself, and that following your passion is not dead. And I'm very grateful for every single guest that's come on the show and shared graciously about their journey and their passion and how they did this thing. So those lessons, I feel like, really sum up what last year was about with starting this podcast and inviting people on to talk about what they do. Which leads me to, where are we headed? So we're a year in officially. And now, we're barreling towards year 2. It feels crazy to say that now, but 2 years is going to fly by in no time. But where are we headed? My first thing is growing our show and our community. So community is very important. It's an important part of growing a podcast. And I'm focusing more of my efforts on getting to know the people that listen to my show and creating better content for you. That is the top of my list goal, because you are the reason why I have a show. If you're not listening, why am I even creating a show? What is it for? My goal this year is to figure out how I can create opportunities for you to connect with me and connect with the community as a whole. So this is a work in progress, but stay tuned for details because it's something that I really want to do for you and for myself. The second thing is show sponsorship. So I've received a few pitches for companies that want to advertise on the show, but I first want to open up a few spots to other creative businesses to advertise on the show. So if you have a product, you have a service that you feel like my listeners would benefit from, I want to hear about it. So if you're interested, you can check out details at keepchasingthestars.com/sponsor. And there's details there about how you can sponsor the show. Number 3, a Pimp Your Brilliance in-person event. This is like a major goal for me because I want to be able to put faces to online avatars. Like I want to see you in person. I want to hug you. I want to high five you. I want us to eat cupcakes and do, just have an amazing time. I don't know what this looks like yet. I'm still kicking around ideas, but it would be sometime in 2019. But more than anything, I would love to meet you face to face. So I'm going ahead and putting that out into the universe that sometime in 2019, there's going to be a Pimp Your Brilliance event. So hold me to that because this is going to happen. Finally, here's how you can help me achieve those above goals. The first one is tell a friend. Word of mouth is one of the fastest and most reliable ways to grow a podcast. So share the podcast with someone you know would benefit from the show or even your own community. I love when I get tags on Instagram stories when people are listening to shows and they're posting quotes or they're posting screenshots of their podcast player and tagging me. That feels amazing. I love when you do that. I try to reply back to as many messages as possible when those come through. Share it on Facebook. If you're feeling really nifty and you want some bonus points, leave a review on iTunes because that helps the iTunes algorithm know that people are listening to this show and it recommends it out to other people. So please do that. Lastly, you can rep the show. I don't know if you realize this, but I do have a Keep Chasing the Stars store and there is some Pimp Your Brilliance specific merchandise in there. So currently there's a t-shirt, a mug, and an enamel pin available inside the shop. I also have 2 other t-shirts in the works that should be in the store in the next couple of days. But if you want to see what's available, you can find them at keepchasingthestars.com/shop. I would love to see some Pimp Your Brilliance gear out in the world on people who are out there pimping their brilliance. Definitely check that out. More than anything, I just want to say after a year, thank you so much for sticking with the show, for listening to the show. It's a lot of work, but this has been so worth it. It's exceeded all my expectations, and I'm looking forward to another year of just awesomeness, connection, speaking with even bigger and badder guests. I couldn't do it without you, so thank you. And that's it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for listening. If you love the show, make sure you grab the Be Brilliant guide where I share the keys to success for my most popular guests. Download it at keepchasingthestars.com/brilliant. Now go out there and pimp your brilliance.